Welcome to 50 Ways to Succeed at Work, where you hear stuff about ways to succeed even the most well-intentioned colleagues, advisors, careers officers and HR departments may never get around to mentioning. Welcome to episode 38, Being an Action Hero. Become action-minded, not a plodder.
Shazam.
Shazam. Shazam is Superman plus magic.
You probably don't have superpowers at work. Be nice to have, though. Yet there's one route to success that holds almost the same promise as that magic word Shazam. It's your focus on practical action. As far as many others are concerned at work, it can turn you into the equivalent of a superhero. If you're thoroughly action-minded, people may call you proactive, a can-do person, even a form of leader. Making things happen at work builds your reputation. People inside and beyond the organization tend to gravitate towards anyone who can get things done. Regardless of your actual role, there's always room for you to make a difference. Aim to become an action hero, always on the lookout to make things happen at work. Let's consider how you can become this action hero and not drift into becoming a dull plodder. That's someone who sees little scope for initiative, stifled by routine, rules, and people who seem to get in the way. To step in the role of action hero, you don't need a magic word like Shazam. Just relentless attention on how you're spending your day. Action heroes make every moment count. Involve all your senses to use your time well. You have only so many minutes in a day. Refuse to squander them on passivity and a lack of initiative. When people see you focus relentlessly on being action-minded, you're on the way to success at work. However, could you already be a permanent resident of the someday island? That's where so many people inhabit at work. They're always saying things like, I'm going to do that someday, or I must make time for that, or I'll start on this soon. As a manager of over 1,000 staff at one time, I've met countless people with excellent intentions, yet they could never seem to get off someday island. They never quite make it to practical action and completion. I'd hear them saying things like, if only they would do something about, it's the fault of the board. You should get this sorted. When I'm promoted, I will. What also gets in the way of being an action hero includes a lack of self-confidence, being a perfectionist, confusion over goals, becoming used to procrastination and delay, and paralysis of analysis. Each has a remedy, and it's down to you to identify it, root it out, and not wait for someone to tell you what to do. When you learn to trust your gut, to listen to that inner voice, you change the environment around you, just as if you were saying that magic word, Shazam. There may not be a sudden clap of thunder and a flash of lightning, but your focus on the action will begin to influence others. Pay attention to the signposts. Respect your intuition if you're unhappy, disgusted, bored, or whatever. Something needs to change, and it starts with you, the action hero, who against the odds seeks action. From the boss at the top of a giant conglomerate to the freelancer working on a creative project, almost everyone can find this challenging. For example, you may encounter plenty of work colleagues who seem good at decision-making. They do all the right things to ensure the choices get fully considered. But it's making sure that those decisions become implemented, that action flows to create completion. That's what builds success. If you have trouble with execution, scale back on your expectations to where some action becomes possible. Find a way to take even the most minor practical actions, and you'll be better off than if you hadn't taken any. You'll still be making huge strides compared to colleagues who don't, won't, or can't take action. Now for some action hero things for you to try. Read something on this subject. You wonder which book or video to hit on? Ask your supervisor, your manager, or a trusted colleague. Even asking this question begins to mark you out as an action hero. Take an online learning course. There's one associated with this podcast series and plenty of others. Consult an expert. Track down someone you think is particularly action-orientated. Ask them how they strengthen that ability to be action-minded. Attend a workshop or a course. Google the subject for some choices. If you work for a company, they may be willing to reimburse tuition fees and give you time off to attend. Clarify progress checks. Get clear on exactly what steps you need to take and who does what. Ambiguity is the enemy of executing. Follow up. Take nothing for granted when it comes to action. Being an action hero is knowing what's happening and what isn't. Address problems of execution promptly. And 2 more to consider. Elephant bites. They say you can eat even an elephant in small bites. Break complex assignments into their various parts, then figure out which part needs to be done first. And finally, practice being an action hero. Accept that being one stems from practice, not some unreachable talent. While being an action hero is valuable, consider possible outcomes and their likely consequences as part of the muscle you need to develop. So what 3 actions can you do right away? Well, first, commit to being action-minded and let this show up daily in your work. Second, find simple actions you can support without always seeking permission and approval. Third, respect your intuition that something needs to change, and it starts with you. And my takeaway from all of this? Being an action hero can seriously improve your chances of success at work, and be willing to work in this role with practice, training, reading, and formal learning opportunities. You've been listening to an episode of Andrew's 50 Ways to Succeed at Work. For more episodes, subscribe free to my regular weekly podcasts. You can catch up on past ones at the 50ways.site, where you can also become a foundation member with access to e-learning units, transcripts, further reading links, and the forum, where you can ask questions, share problems, and join a growing community of people who seriously want to succeed at work. Thanks for listening, and bye for now until next week.